come to what is certainly the heart of the story of Jesus, you'll note that the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John all spend a good half of their ink on the days, the week surrounding Jesus' crucifixion, the week that leads up to his death. So Jesus was crucified. Of course, you know what that means. He was attached, nailed to a cross, nailed by the wrists, because you can't, if you put nails here, it doesn't work. But I'm not going to go into the sort of gory details of it. You can imagine them, and artists have painted this for thousands of years. I just want to note a couple of things about crucifixion. It was intentionally cruel, and an intentionally cruel form of punishment. Death at crucifixion was usually death by asphyxiation, as the body hung and eventually the lungs would be unable to function. So if you've ever known anybody who's died of emphysema or died of the lack of ability to breathe, it is a very, very cruel and gruesome form of death. It was public also. I suppose that Pontius Pilate could have chosen to kill Jesus in a cellar somewhere, in a dungeon where no one could see, and then could have paraded his body out through Jerusalem. But this was public, like those pikes, those heads on the pike that I mentioned last time. This was meant to be an example. Again, see what happens to you. See what happens to you if you go too far, if you present too much of a challenge to the powers that be. It's public, where your family can see it, where your friends can see it, where your tribe can see it, where your people can read, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. This is what happens to you, Jews," the power of Rome would say, if you start to make a mess in our empire. So it's intentionally cruel. It's intentionally public. And the third thing is that you might not think about is that it's intentionally repeatable. Jesus was taken to the place of the skull, a place that had a name, a place that was known for being the place, well, this is where people get crucified. And so again, this power of example that says, this isn't a one-off, this could happen again, this could happen to you, watch yourselves, don't mess with the order of the world as you know it. Crucifixion is what happens. A cruel public death. Well, crucified, suffered and crucified. And we get then next to what happened next, his death. I'll see you then.